For anybody that needs to hear this, you can fall down and pick yourself up as many times as you fucking need. As long as you learn something from each fucking time you fall down. And as humans, inherently, we don't learn shit except for through the hard fucking way. There are unteachable lessons that will be forever fucking ingrained in society that we are told for centuries and centuries sometimes. And we're told from our grandfathers, our great grandfathers, and we still have to learn the hard fucking way. Fall down, get back up. You've got agency to do it. I have fallen down more times than I count in my life, and I have picked myself up, sometimes begrudgingly, sometimes with enthusiasm, and I'm going to fall down more. And the second you think I've run into some in the self help space, in the self improvement space. I I got into self improvement a couple of years ago, and when I started really taking it seriously and started getting to know people in the same space and kind of watching them, and I analyze shit sometimes too much. The second you think you know everything, you become dumb. You just stop learning. So I don't think none of us know shit. We're just floating around on a spinning fucking rock, falling down and getting back up, and some of us never get the fuck back up. And I was almost to that point at what time in my life. And I'm just if anyone needs to hear this, get back up. We fall down. None of us have life figured out. My dad is 70 some years old. I just started talking to him regularly again. And I did that because I realized even at 70 some years old, that man still don't have life figured out. None of us have life figured out. We, everybody on their fucking deathbed has a million fucking regrets about life. And generally they regret not taking a chance at something. They never regret falling down. They never regret having to start back over. They regret the chances they didn't take out of fear. So I think that goes relationships, life, business. That can go any area of our life. Fall down, get back up. That's and I think all right. There's something else on my brain I want to talk about real quick. I think we should be trying to maximize ourselves. I've been into that really hard. I try, and sometimes I lean more in one direction or another, and I have to readjust myself because I'm constantly overthinking, constantly trying to readjust myself, trying to figure out which direction to lean in. And balance has always been a very, very, very hard thing for me. Very hard. I will get hyper focused on one thing and I'll go down this fucking path and I'll go down this fucking path and realize that I am dropping the ball on so many other areas of my life that are important. So a while back, I heard this idea of maximizing yourself, and it was toward men. It's funny if you look at self help books. If you look at women's self help books, all right, 90%, 98% of what they're saying in there is be yourself, you're lovable, accept yourself, you're perfect the way you are. And if you look at men's self help books, 98% of what they're saying is you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to build this up better, you need to do this better. So there's a big discrepancy there, and I'm just going to go down this road just for a quick second. I don't want to get divisive, but we grow up as men learning how to treat women. Women grow up learning how to be treated. So I think that we see the effects of that a lot in society now. Um, Men have been kind of pushed aside to an extent, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want to get too fucking divisive. That was on my brain also. So maximize, when I'm talking about maximize, we're going to circle right the fuck back to maximize. Maximize yourself physically as a man. If you can't walk into a room and know for a fact that you can kill and eat or outrun every one of those fucking people in that room, I don't think you're doing your job physically. So maximize yourself physically. Maximize yourself as a man, especially because the physical sometimes comes easier to us. Maximize yourself emotionally. You have to dig into your emotions. You have to find a healthy emotional outlet. Because when men don't have a healthy emotional outlet, we don't know how to express our emotions, we have two routes we take. We either turn inward to drugs, alcohol, and we destroy ourselves, or we burn the world down around us. I was at a point in my life one time where I did all of that. I burnt everyone's world down around me, and I destroyed myself at the same time. So I think as men, especially, let's lean into emotional control, uh, learning how to express our emotions, a healthy outlet for our emotions. Because as men, our emotions come out different. We're we're psychologically different. We Our emotions can come out angry, scary, and it's okay. But you have to be comfortable, and a lot of that is making those around you comfortable for those emotions to come out. Okay, so we got physical, we got emotional. What's our next one? Let's say mental health on top of emotional, because I think that is different. I think we can draw a distinction between emotions and mental health. So I think as a man, I can only speak for men. I cannot fucking speak for women. I think as a man, it starts in your body with discipline. Make yourself get up and do something hard every fucking day. Start getting validation from yourself. Start validating yourself. Because too many times we trade our own validation, we destroy our own validation or what we believe in to get validation from other people so then we can feel validated. So get validation from yourself. Stop being your own enemy. Start being your own friend. Stop lying to yourself. If you want to do something different in life, fucking do it. We all have that shit in our head where we're like, you know what, maybe I don't want to hit the snooze button. Maybe I want to wake up at this time. Maybe the gym is a big fucking thing. I always preach the fucking gym because I'm a big believer in the fucking gym. We tell ourselves, yeah, I want to get back in the gym, or I want to do this, or I want to do this. And we never fucking do it. What would you do if you had a friend who said, hey, let's meet up for lunch at 1, and they stood you up? And so you're like, all right, that's all right, I'll eat lunch. And then they say, hey, I'm sorry about that. Let's meet up for lunch at 1 tomorrow. And they stood you up again. You'd lose respect for them, right? So I think mental health and self-esteem starts with respecting ourselves and not being that person standing ourselves up. All right, I wrote a couple things down. So I covered validation, I covered falling down, I covered maximizing ourselves in every area, physically, financially too. Okay, you got a lot of people that are just into self improvement and just kind of roses and flowers and butterflies and introspection, which there's nothing wrong with that, without a lot of drive. So I think you need to balance the drive to financially better yourself with the drive to better yourself from the inside out. And I said I was going to put out this episode. All right, so it's been going around lately that prostitution may be legalized. I guess they're voting on it, and it's looking like it's going to be a fucking thing where we're legalizing prostitution in Colorado. And I put out a poll on that earlier this week, and there was a lot of mixed. There's a lot of engagement, but a lot of mixed feelings about it. And I just want to say, okay, so it is the oldest. I have heard so many people fucking justify it by saying it is the oldest vocation or job or whatever in history. All right, so women have been selling their bodies for forever, and even in a marriage, actually, kind of right. There's still some sort of a transaction going on, even though we don't like to look at it that way. But let's not go down that fucking road. So legalizing prostitution. What the fuck are we fucking doing? Are we moving backwards? There was a reason it became illegal. Now, I don't believe in, I got outlaw on the side of my fucking head. And I believe in having a code and having honor and shit and living by your own fucking rules, okay? I don't necessarily believe in living by all of society's rules, and I think a lot of times we have too many rules put on us, and it dumbs us down, right? So we're told to stop at the stop sign, right? There's like this big stop sign. You're going to get a fine if you don't stop at the stop sign. Well, I think if we didn't have that law, probably we would naturally fucking stop and look both fucking ways any goddamn way. So I think a lot of that shit dumbs us down, which I'm going to go down a fucking road real quick. Remember when smartphones came out and we all forgot how to spell? Because smartphones were spelling shit for us, right? There was this huge thing. I remember reading about it, how we got a little dumber with smartphones. We got smarter in our hands, a little dumber in our fucking heads. So what the fuck are we doing with AI? Do not lean on AI too much. I actually I'll chat GPT some shit to figure out if I haven't done a job, if I run into some tile work or something, because I'm a handyman. I will chat GPT and be like, what am I doing wrong, bro? And that is excellent. It is excellent in teaching you things. But I think learn from AI. Don't let it do your thinking for you. We forget, just think about how much dumber we're going to get when we lean on AI the way we leaned on our fucking smartphones. So the more technology, the smarter we have, the more access to information we have, the dumber we fucking get as a society. So that kind of rules, society's rules, outlaw shit, going straight into AI. And we're talking about, all right, let's circle the fuck back to prostitution. What the fuck are we doing? Since the sexual revolution, we have had more single mother homes and more fucking abortions since the birth control pill. So since the birth control pill, right, we make the birth control pill so that we can take away consequences of sex for women, so that women can have sex like men, although we're not built the same fucking psychologically. Women cannot have sex like men. There is a little bit of a fucking split there. I don't think men should just be going around fucking whatever the fuck they can, but women cannot have sex like men. That there are different hormones, different psychological process involved. There was actually a fucking article put out in Cosmopolitan teaching women how to turn off their emotions so that they can have sex like a man. If you need to learn and read something in a fucking magazine to learn how to turn off your emotions so that you may go have sex like a man and just go spread yourself the fuck out, that should be a fucking red flag. All right. So since the birth control pill, we've had more abortions. We've had more single mother homes. We know that single parent homes do not fucking work. We know that. So now we're going to make prostitution legal. We're going down the same fucking road. I saw a couple comments on the post that were actually really fucking interesting that talked about child trafficking, and some people had looked into it. I didn't look into it too deep. I'm coming at it just purely kind of from just a morality type thing and a code of ethics type thing. So I saw somebody talk about it, kind of blurs the area with child trafficking and shit like that. I will look into that more. I can't really speak on that. But let's go pros. Pros of, this is my personal thoughts. Pros of prostitution. Well, we can have a lot of men. God, I can't think of a fucking pro. Because I was going to say incels, right? Like we got incels on the internet, men that are just not in the mating market, the sexual marketplace, to where they are having sex or they're watching porn. And I've already spoke on porn. I think porn is a horrible fucking thing. I think porn takes away men's natural desire to get up and do shit. Ladies, we have built roads, all of society. We have built that to get laid. We have built that for you. Women determine the way society goes. Always. We think there's a patriarchy. There is no patriarchy. I understand women did not have a lot of fucking rights back in the day, but everything a man does is for you. There's a Tom Sawyer book where the kid jumps up on a fence and teeters around. He just started noticing girls and he's trying to show off to this girl. Everything we've done is for you. I got fucking sidetracked. Where the fuck was I? I am fucking hyper shit. So pros. All right, pros. So maybe some of those incels, some of those guys who don't get laid can go get laid instead of watching porn. But doesn't that still just make it easier for a guy to get laid an unnatural way instead of having to maybe dress decently, become somewhat charismatic? So no, that's not a fucking pro. In order to see some boobs, because that's what we all fucking do. We literally, that's what we do as men. The only reason we want a fancy car or we want to dress a certain way is to impress a woman to see her naked. That's literally fucking it. So I actually can't think of a pro to prostitution being legal. I can think of all kinds of cons. Okay, I can think of the way it's going to affect our next generation, where they're going to grow up and it's going to just be this natural thing where you can go pay for pussy. I think it's going to take away a lot of men's want to work, to impress women, to be good fucking men. It's going to introduce more abusive type sex. Okay, because I think of prostitution. I've never had a prostitute. I've always thought of it as, first of all, kind of a weak thing for a fucking guy to do. Second of all, it's kind of consensual rape, right? Like, don't you want a woman to want to sleep with you? With prostitution, it's consensual rape. She doesn't really want to sleep with you. It's a fucking transaction. But you're gonna trick yourself into thinking this woman really wants to sleep with you and you're pleasing her, and then give her fucking money for the act. So I think that's complete fucking bullshit. Um, our next generation coming up is going to ruin a lot of men. Um, we're not going to grow up the same, wanting to impress women, having to pick ourselves up as men. Marriage rates are going to fall more. Our marriage rates are already fucking, and I am a big believer in marriage, mainly not just to get the state involved and all that fucking paperwork, because I've been fucked in my ass on marriage, on divorce. Like, I've been fucked in a divorce court. But because I like the ceremonial vows. I like the vow of just gathering all your people there and being like, that's my person right there. You know, I want to spend the rest of my life with that person. So I think marriage still has a place in society, whether you do it through a state or not. We're going to see wrecked marriages. We're going to see a whole lot more men stepping out on their fucking wives. You know, you got the Madonna whore complex where you idolize your wife. You don't do the dirty shit to your wife. You go do the dirty shit to a prostitute. That already happens. All right. And that's based on some relationship with your mom you had as your kid and the way you looked at your mom. And so we've already got the Madonna whore complex. Well, what's going to happen when it's easier to just go do dirty shit to that prostitute and not give your wife what she actually fucking wants because she wants that dirty shit? All right, so we got that. It's going to ruin more men in marriages. It's going to have a lot more men split psychologically. We're going to have a harder time. You know, Carl Jung talked about bringing out our shadow self, and a lot of men's shadow self and integrating that. You know, you have to integrate the darker parts of yourself into your life. Now, you have to do that in a healthy way, and a lot of that is introspection and a lot of work and giving yourself some grace. And if you're able to do that in a healthy way, those darker parts of yourself don't come out on the back end in a very abusive, unhealthy way. And a lot of men's darker selves, a lot of our shadow work has to do around sex. Okay. So that's gonna take a fucking hit. Women, we're gonna have more women, less women in the workplace, right? Where we fought as feminists, right? Feminists fought for women to be in the workplace and not be sexually objectified. And you know that old slogan from World War I or two: "A woman can do anything a man can do," which a man actually created that to get women into factories to build bullets while men were at war. So we're taking a step back in feminism, aren't we? Because now we're saying it's okay to be sexually objectified, and then I don't know I can't predict what impact that's going to have on all the industries that women are in. I can't predict. I can say I think it's going to be psychologically harmful for women. I don't think it's healthy for women to be in that space where they're selling their body. I don't think it's healthy for them in a lot of different fucking ways, okay? Because again, women were not meant to, women need emotional closeness in order to have sex. So if you turn off that need for emotional connectedness and you just go have sex for fucking cash, I don't know what the repercussions of that is, but I don't think it's good. Um, so there's the emotional aspect of it. It's just, I cannot see one fucking pro to prostitution being legal. So I think that's where I sit on that. This video actually lasts a little bit longer than I thought it was. I was just going to spout off here for a little while. So just to wrap it up, fall down, get the fuck back up, man. I don't care how old you are. Just keep doing it. That's what life is about. Give yourself some fucking grace. Say, you know what? I fucked up. I fell down. And get the fuck back up. We are all born with agency. A lot of times along the way, we're taught by the wrong people that we're not worth it. A lot of times we see our self worth through other people, through the wrong people. Okay, we're built as humans to see our self worth, to get a kind of an idea of ourselves or our social circle. That we're meant that way. We were in clans. We cared about what people thought, or we could die. We get kicked out of the clan. We're out in the forest. We die. But give yourself some fucking grace. Pick yourself back up. It's okay. Try not to let the wrong people teach you the wrong things about yourself, because if you are in a dark spot right now, you are worth it. You are worth every bit of effort you can put in to picking yourself back up. Okay. If you're going through a breakup, or if you're going through financial problems, or you're going through um, rocky relationship, a lot of times we take that on ourselves and we think that we're not worthy, and actually a lot of the way we treat other people is based on our own sense of self-worth. You are worth it. It's going to be okay. I promise. In 6 months, whatever you're going through right now, if you put the work in and you put one foot in front of the other and you give yourself just a little bit of fucking grace, in 6 months, I promise you, your life is going to look a lot different. So that's it. I hope y'all have a good fucking day.